Well, good morning, guys, YouTube people world, whoever, wherever. It is, I don't know, 10 o'clock. I've been working on this for about, 2 hours. Changing the wheel bearing. So, yeah, I ordered just the wheel bearing, which is this wheel bearing manufacturer. I just have too much stuff. Anyway, welcome back to Half Fast 719. Box open. So, comes with new bolts, the bearing bolts and the axle bolts. And then this is the new bearing. Made in Slovakia. Anyway, wonder if those are torque specs. They are not. They are warranty codes, but and then I ordered this boot kit. Boot kit is pretty cool, but does not fit, I think, on the bearings I ordered. So it's almost like so this is the one bearing I have on there. There's a part number. Oh, right here. 713-619-610900. Anyway, bearing. I bought two bearings. Sorry if this thing's loud, but I have to cool it down because it's getting hot. But basically, I'm gonna give you a breakdown of how this is done. Easy, but cheesy. Eat lemon peel without a squeezy. So you don't have to do anything crazy with these. You don't have to take any of the knuckles off. You don't have to take anything off except for a brake caliper. These are 21 millimeter socket. You break those loose, you take them off, you depress the brake pads, separate them so they come off the rotor. You'll take the one little screw off for the rotor. In my case, mine is a T. I don't know. I found a wheel weight. Yeah, I don't know what size it was. I think it's a T30. I thought I had the tool here, but I guess not. 21 millimeter for the bolts in the back. It's a 19 millimeter for the axle doohickey. So 19 millimeter hex Allen, however you want to call it. This is basically trash now because it comes with a new one. And these get torqued to like 160 plus 90 degrees. Anyway, my car is a California car, so yeah, get one of these, stick it on your spring. I just made these out of some stainless steel rod. But anyway, take the rotor off and take this off. You don't have to undo any, like I was saying, you don't have to undo any control arms or nothing. Take the axle, push the axle back. Axle floats in here like that. And then you have access to all the bolts back here. It's a 12 millimeter triple square. And yeah, so mine just, when I unbolted it, it just came loose. I did put some anti-seize on the new one. I won't go over how to do it. I might go over how to press the stub off of the bearing. However, you can order a kit with the the stub shaft and the bearing, and then press the stub shaft into the bearing. The reason they do that is because different cars have different stub shafts, different lug patterns, same bearing. So different cars, a Jetta or Passat might use the same bearing, but a different lug pattern. Or like an Audi Q5 might be a different lug pattern. It'll still be like a 5 lug, but it'll be like a 5x112, a 5x136. I don't know what it is, which is why I just opted to reuse mine and pull the bearing off. So, like I said, you don't have to unbolt anything. You just take the axle. The axle should come out. Like I said, mine's a California car, so it may be a little easier for mine. Even still, some people are using a slide hammer to, bolting it to this, sliding it off. I think the best practice would be, if yours bearing is stuck to the hub, is take a punch and a hammer and hit it this way, because it is a perfect circle in here, inside this hub. Hit it this way, hit it that way, hit this side, come down here, hit this, just to loosen it up, and it should just pop out. People are using slide hammers and pulling, and sometimes what they'll do is actually pull this piece, the stub shaft, off of the bearing, and and then you're stuck trying to figure out how to pull this off. So cool little trick I just did, which pulled the stub shaft off the bearing, but not 100%. So these are the bolts on the back side, triple square, 12 millimeter, 12. So these are just Harbor Freight, I believe, maybe not. So 12 millimeter triple square basically means you got 3 squares in there. They're kind of hard. I'm still looking. I got to look up the torque specs, but so the stub shaft right here is like, I don't think it's going to stand up, but so the stub shaft's here, the little where the wheel attaches, the hub, whatever you want to call it. All I did was take these bolts, turn them around, ran them, put all 4 bolts in, tightened. It goes up against the hub, so the bolt will go up against the hub, and it'll press it off. You don't want to do just one, alternate it, and then where the lug nut actually goes through, you'll get to that part, and then if you tighten it up against where the lug nut is, it just basically pops off. However, the inner race gets stuck on the stub shaft or the hub, whatever you want to call it. So pretty easy to do. What I ended up doing, I guess we can go to the barn. I might do this bearing just to show a video of how to do it without taking any of the control arms off, because people are taking control arms off and stuff, and then they're using a slide hammer, and that whole knuckle's basically flopping around. And you don't need to do any of that stuff with these Audis. I believe the B series Audis, then the C6, the C7. That's a C7, but the bearing felt tight. The old bearing felt tight and everything, but I don't know. I'm thinking when the bolt was clamped, it was pushing the ball bearings and making a notch, and then it was almost like it was clicking. I hope so. this was the other piece that was on the actual stub shaft. You can get a bearing polar separator, I think they're called, where it goes basically like this, and then the other piece goes like this, and then you can take a claw, or you can take whatever you want, a dual, triple, or quad, or you can use the tool that it comes with, which is 2 bolts that bolt into it, pull it off. The one I have isn't big enough, so I chucked it up in this bad boy. So I know not everybody has a lathe, but I put it in this lathe and I crimped it, and yeah, let's see if I can't put it how I had it. I don't think it's gonna work, but anyway, I clamped it in there on this little ridge. So this ridge right here, basically put it on one of these teeth like this. It grabbed it, I clamped it, the stub shaft stuck out like that far, like that. I stuck a screwdriver in there and mine went boop, and then I rotated it, went boop, 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 and then it fell out. So this is the rest of the bearing. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do another video because it's kind of cramped in there. And I don't like setting up tripod junk anymore. So, but yeah, the bearing doesn't, the race anyway, doesn't look too bad. If this does not fix this, I might be taking the car and trading it in and getting a new car. I never ever get new cars, but I'm gonna have to travel for work pretty far, and yeah, so yeah, this was in there like that. And this bearing's got a lot of play on it, and it's super greasy on the outside, which tells me it just ran out of grease. But it shouldn't have that much play. And then this bearing, it's got that much play as well. So I'm kind of wondering when they're clamped together, because the axle goes on this side and goes there, and this might not even be the right axle stub shaft, right axle bearing, because I think this is supposed to go in there. I hate aftermarket parts. Okay, well, nope. Okay, well, it doesn't. So I thought it did. Apparently it does not. So anyway, that's how you do it. That's how it is. This is my old one. It's got a, I don't know, this one feels like it's got some play in the beginning, but I guess this one does too, but this one kind of gets all clicky and notchy, so I'll probably end up just replacing this axle since I'm in there. Put this stupid axle in there with this stupid bearing. Alright guys, I'll let you guys know what I did on this side. Since the car's up in the air and everything's apart, I might just throw this axle back in there. This is the stock one with the new bearing. yeah. These are the bearings. Mayle, M-E-Y-L-E. It's a CV joint. The boot is pretty good. The grease seems pretty good. However, bolt and the circlip seem good, but these things are the cheapest things I've ever seen. They're not as wide as those ones, so kind of junk. The bearing is whatever the bearing is. Anyway, so once I get that axle out, throw this axle in, see how the car does with the new bearing. Hopefully it works, and go from there. All right, I'll let you know if I made any other changes or not. If I didn't, then this is the end of the video. If I change this, it'll be another video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, do what you guys do. Sorry if I'm all over the place, but I gotta get this done, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Later.